Good morning and welcome to the free daily coaching hangout and podcast. This morning's free daily coaching call is brought to you by Free Daily Coaching. So come over and visit us at www.freedailycoaching.com. For those that are listening in on the recorded podcast, you can actually go over to www.freedailycoaching.com and visit us there. Register for the live webinar where we broadcast live each and every morning. Now, what we're doing is actually broadcasting the recording of the podcast. And this morning, I wanted to talk about a subject that I heard about over the weekend, and I was at an event, and we talked about this recently. And let's rewind a little bit and say good morning and welcome to the Free Daily Coaching Podcast. This morning is Wednesday, June 24th. I always love a Wednesday because it's a webinar Wednesday, and I always attend a Wednesday night webinar each and every Wednesday, and have been doing so for the past few years. The great part about Wednesdays too is we've changed up the Friends of Free Daily Coaching, which is our paid membership portion of the site here of our call, where we do a live mastermind training, and that has actually been moved over to Wednesdays as well. So we do that this evening, and then we jump onto an industry-wide webinar. So welcome to the Free Daily Coaching Podcast, Hangout, and Webinar. And if you'd like to visit us live, you can visit us over at www.freedailycoaching.com. So I want to continue some of yesterday's discussion. I was doing a tribute to Lisa Grossman, and I had the opportunity to go and speak at an event this past weekend, and Lisa Grossman was I was actually a panelist, and Lisa Grossman was one of the featured speakers at this event. And I had kept some notes from a couple different things that she was talking about, and I wanted to share a few of them with you. So yesterday I shared one of the ideas, one of the concepts that Lisa had talked about. I wanted to talk about two other things that really struck me, that I think that each one of us could use in our business, and a concept that I believe that you could start to use in your business, that you could start to use as some inspiration, as something to allow you to dig deep and grab your motivation, to motivate yourself to go out and do something different in your business, to have a larger result, to have more of an effect on others around you. So one of the first things that I had written down was that you have to see the future to make it happen. You have to see the future to make it happen. So essentially, you have to be able to look into your mind's eye. You have to be able to imagine what that future is going to look like, so that you can see it, so that you can visualize it, so that you can create it in your mind, so that you can make it happen. So I think that's a pretty powerful statement. You have to see, right? You have to see the future to make it happen. And then another thing that she said that just struck me as a super powerful message, and a powerful message for myself to take on and to be able to share with others, is to participate as much as you can. Participate as much as you can. Wow. Is that like the zest for life statement? Is that like the statement that makes you say, wow, yeah, maybe I'm not doing enough today. Maybe there's a little bit more I could do. Maybe I could actually be participating even more. Am I doing enough? Right? And the simple statement, participate as much as you can. How powerful is that? Are you participating as much as you can in your business? Are you doing as much as you could do? Or are you doing the bare minimum? Are you just participating when it's required? Are you just showing up when you're expected to? Or are you going that extra mile? Are you participating wherever and as much as you can? The next question, so I really wanted to touch on 3 different things that she had mentioned. When we talked about you have to see the future to make it happen. You have to be able to visualize it in your mind's eye. You have to be able to create that dream inside of your head so that you can see it, so that you have a clear vision of what that goal is. You've got to see that future to make it happen, so that you have that clear vision, right? She suggested just simply participate as much as you can. Be a part of it, like do that zest for life, right? And then the third thing that I wanted to bring up was a question that she asked that I thought was absolutely phenomenal. And it's going to go right along with the participate as much as you can. Is what can you do to make the largest impact on the most people? And this is what hit me. This is what hit me. This is what should be hitting you, because it doesn't matter where you're at right now in your business. It doesn't matter whether your audience is 1 person, whether it's 0 people, it's 12, it's 1,200, or it's 12 million. What can you do to make the largest impact on the most people? What can you do? What could you do to make the largest impact on the most people? And I want to share a few things that I've been doing over the last few days to make a bigger impact on more people, to make sure that I'm totally participating and make sure that I'm seeing what it is that I want to create in the future. And I want to tell you my experience. I want to share that with you just briefly. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to show you a graphic example. I want to share with you a graphic example so that you can see that I'm practicing this. I'm applying this into my business, because I feel convicted that if I'm not applying this, if I'm not doing this in my business, then how can I come on and share this with you in the morning? How can I record this podcast and broadcast this to you? How could I be here right here live with you if I'm not going to do it? Well, I am going to do it. And that's why I feel compelled to share what it is that I'm doing with you. And not in a braggadocious way, not in an arrogant way, in a way to say, hey, I went somewhere. I went and learned something. I heard a message. I heard a woman tell me that and ask me a question. Am I getting the largest? Am I affecting the largest amount of people, right? Am I making the largest impact on the most amount of people? Am I participating fully, right? Am I imagining it? Can I see what it is, the future that I want to create? And so I want to tell you about a few things that I've been doing to be able to do this. We've been really doing some different things here in the morning time at our house to be able to prepare ourselves for the day. Yesterday, my wife did something that was 8 and 8. If you didn't see that, you could go and check that out on my Facebook group. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can go over to www.facebook.com/Bert Bledsoe and just look me up over there. Of course, go ahead and request me as a friend so we can connect. And look at that post and you'll see it's the 8 things to do by 8 in the morning. And one of those things is some personal development. And part of that personal development, part of that meditation process, part of that visualization process is being able to see the future so that you can create it. Literally being able to see yourself in the place that you want to be as you move forward in your business, in your life. The second part about making participating as much as you can, right? Participating as much as you can. And really the second half of that is what can you do to make the largest impact on the most amount of people? It's like A and B, right? It's like a 2-part deal. Well, what am I doing? I'm doing even more new things. We brought the free daily coaching back. We added in the podcast, right? So am I participating? Absolutely. Am I doing as much as I can to make the largest impact on the most people? Well, we brought in the podcast so that we can communicate with more people, so that we can have an audio recording for those that can't watch the video. Maybe because their internet connection's no good. Maybe because they don't have the time to sit down and watch the video, but they have time to listen to the audio. Right? I was asked to contribute today. I'm going to be doing an interview in just a little bit, a video interview. And I was asked to contribute to some teammates that are creating a product. They have a product that they're creating, and one of the people is actually a former student of mine and a colleague that's doing absolutely amazing. And they asked if I would be a part of what they're creating, a part of a social media product that they're creating. What an honor. And again, participate as much as you can. So once again, having that ability to say, yes, I would love to participate in what you're doing. Yes, how could I be of service? How could I add in to what you're doing to be able to participate even more? Participate fully by being able to go in after this webinar this morning, after recording this podcast, being able to go onto a live telephone call and hosting a live call this morning, where I'm going to talk a little bit more about business. I'm going to talk about something that I've never talked about on a call before. I'm going to talk about a few steps that I look at on a consistent basis that I think are massively important to take a look at in your business. So what else? What is that? That's also trying to make the largest impact on the most amount of people. I'm going to be able to go onto a telephone call where there's hundreds of people calling in each and every morning. So going out and trying to make a larger impact. What are you doing this morning to do that? Are you posting in all the places that you could be posting? Are you posting to your fan page? Are you connecting with your email list and sharing? Are you making that biggest impact? Is there a larger way that you could be making an impact? Could you participate even more? See, these are some of the things that I'm doing. Now, a lot of people aren't going to agree with what I'm doing. Some people will say, well, why would you be a part of these other people's product? Why would you go and put your name on their stuff? You're not getting paid. You're not doing this. I'm trying to participate. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make the largest impact on the most amount of people. And sometimes that doesn't look like a monetization. Sometimes that doesn't look like direct money in my pocket. But over the bigger picture, if I could help people by sharing for 15 minutes on a video that someone else is going to distribute to hundreds of people, would that be beneficial to those people? Would that be making the largest impact on the most amount of people? Would that be getting me towards that goal? Yes, it would. Absolutely, it would. What else are we going to do to participate more? Well, last night we started, or the Tuesday before last, we started doing a live meetup every single Tuesday, a marketing meetup up in Denver. And we're going to show up every Tuesday. We're going to start doing that live, a live workshop. So for all of the locals here in Colorado, if you know people, if you're in Denver, if you're in the Denver area, if you know people that can get to the Denver area, on Tuesday nights, we're doing a meetup. Reach out to me and I will be glad to get you that information, right? And you'll see that up on the websites and some other places soon. Why? Because we need to participate, because I want to participate fully, because I want to have the largest impact on the most amount of people. Because there's things that I've learned that I believe that I could share with others in regards to marketing and in regards to getting more exposure for their business, to get more, to generate more leads, to make more sales. That's the bottom line. That's what I want to do. I got little hiccups this morning. I want to be able to share that with the biggest audience that I can. Why? So that the most amount of people can be affected, so more people can make choices to change their life, so that they can go out and have the types of financial, emotional, time freedom that we've been able to experience. So I went on a little rant today, and I ranted really this morning at freedailycoaching.com, and come and visit us if you're listening to the podcast. Come and watch the live webinar over at www.freedailycoaching.com. I went off on a little rant today because my good friend Lisa Grossman had some really great things to say this past weekend, and I happened to be able to be the recipient of a few of those wonderful nuggets that she shared, and I wanted to share them with you. I wanted to pose a few questions to you that I posed to myself. And sometimes we get complacent. Sometimes we don't see all the ramifications of the actions that we're taking in the moment. And so I'd like to ask you, are you really looking and seeing the future? Because you have to see the future to make it happen. Are you participating as much as you can? And if so, and if not, why not start to? Because there's got to be things, and I want to ask you the question, what are the things? What can you do to make the largest impact on the most people? That question was posed to me, and it lit a fire. It lit a fire beneath me to say, hey, there's more that we need to do. We need to continue to press on. We need to continue to press forward despite the results that you've got, despite if it's good or it's bad or it's indifferent. I'm going to press on and do even more because there's more people that can be helped. There's more people to touch. There's more people to share with. There's more people out there that haven't heard the story that you have to share. They haven't heard your story of triumph. They haven't heard your story of prosperity. They haven't heard your story of freedom or of tragedy or of love and hope and humor. And those people that are waiting out there because there's someone that's going to hear your story, that's going to be activated. What about that person that's just waiting, that will hear your story of triumph and be activated to go out and change their lives? And by changing their life, think of the countless other humans, the other people that they're going to touch, that they're going to have an effect on, that they're going to change. Think about that. Think of how important that is in the world and how important you are to be a part of it. So let me ask you a question that Lisa Grossman asked us this weekend. Are you participating as much as you can? And what can you do to have the largest impact on the most amount of people? Because you have to see the future to create it. I want to thank you for joining us here at the www.freedailycoaching.com podcast and webinar hangout this morning, June 24th. Thank you for joining us. Please come back and see us on the next time. We'll see you then.